7, 8 months ago, right? All for this moment. It's about honor. It's about respect. We win this game, you're honored. Your kids are honored. Your families are honored. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. We win this game, you're honored. Your kids are honored. Your families are honored. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
You have just heard the words of our Commander-in-Chief, the great and wonderful Tom Brady. Can you believe it? How inspiring was that? Welcome to the Grandstanders. We had to lead off with that. When I heard that for the first time in Sound FX, which is on NFL Network, you must catch it. It's the hour of the Super Bowl with sound. And Russ turned me on to this, and I heard that clip, and how remarkable it is. Tom Brady, our leader, the man who won our 4th Super Bowl, and Sound FX. How remarkable is that?
Oh, it's terrific. You know, it gives you all the background stuff, all the chatter. You start to get into the emotions of the players as the game was going on, the highs, the lows. It's like Patriots porn, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like everyone's, you know, you got Edelman's telling all of a sudden in the middle of the drive, Edelman's telling everybody he loves them.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Did you see it? It was crazy.
Yeah.
He goes, "I love you, man," and then he goes up to the offensive lineman and he says, "I love you guys."
Yeah, he was a star. You must watch this. This is my, I mean, of course, because all it does is snow and all we do is shovel, and we're pretty much in our house. That's remarkable stuff. And the insight that I gained, and I know you gained from it, was remarkable to figure out what happens during the course of a game. And there was one point that Bill Belichick, before the final drive, went up to Tom Brady. And how you realize, guys, is that Belichick may have had his best coaching game in the Super Bowl. He was engaged with both the offense, defense, and special teams. He took charge of that game. And before Tom Brady went out for the final drive, he told Tom Brady that Seattle's defense cannot put 3 plays together. They cannot. The linemen are just
remarkable comment.
Right. He said, all you have to do, Tom, is not screw up and throw an interception like you do, and you will score the winning touchdown. Gave him the confidence, and that's exactly what he did. It's just remarkable stuff.
8 for 8, too.
So is this Bill Belichick's shining moment in many great moments?
I think if you believe that he made the decisions that he made in the last few seconds of the game with intent, which is to say, I actually am going to leave this game up to my defense, right? I'm not going to call a timeout so we have more time left on the clock. If you believe that he had that in his mind all the way through and he didn't freeze in the moment, I believe it's his shining moment. And he was on Letterman last night, and Letterman asked him specifically, why didn't you call timeout? And Belichick basically said, I believed in my defense. I just felt like how things were going, I wanted to let the game play out.
Yeah, they'd made a play every time all year.
That's right.
In these situations. How many times on 4th down did they stop the other team? 3rd and short, they made dozens of stops this year. They always made the stop. This is the first time us as fans had confidence in that defense since the 2004-2005 team.
That's right.
And you start to realize what a remarkable play that Malcolm Butler made. An individual play at the most important moment, the greatest play that one of the greatest plays we've ever seen in the Super Bowl. And now, of course, it's Malcolm Butler 24/7. He's at the Grammys. I mean, you realize how your life can turn around pretty much any second, right? He's at the Grammys.
He's introducing best album to boot.
Right. Tom Brady has given him his truck, right? And he's had that.
It's Malcolm Butler's world. We're just living in it now.
But the irony is, if the Patriots lose this game, and of course nobody really knew who Malcolm Butler was before the interception, Malcolm Butler may not make the team next year.
It's entirely possible. He still might not.
I think
by
he
the
will.
way,
I think
he still might not make the team.
He may not have made the team if he hadn't done this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think. I mean, you know, this is a guy.
Dennett will go before him now.
Right. But I'm saying, no, you know, he'll definitely make the team this year. I mean, it's who's the 3 most popular.
Let me ask you a question. Would you be surprised if he didn't make the team?
No, I would not be surprised. That's the irony of it all, right?
Right. So we now know what the pattern is. The pattern is Belichick wipes the slate clean every year. Everyone who was on the team at the end of last year doesn't necessarily mean it carries over. Everyone's got to remake the team.
Right.
He said it a million times. Every year is a different team.
Absolutely. Would not surprise me in the least.
When you're talking about Q rating, and you know people talk about that all the time, it's Tom Brady, of course. It's Rob Gronkowski. but third is probably Malcolm Butler right now, right?
In terms of what?
Most
In the
popular
Patriots.
Patriot.
I would assume so. Except
Outside of
I
this
wouldn't
area,
recognize
yeah,
him.
for sure.
Would you recognize him if you bumped into him in Coolidge Corner?
No,
Tonight?
he could walk in Coolidge Corner because I know Brookline in his Malcolm Butler uniform
Right, exactly.
with his helmet, and nobody would even look at him,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. We used to see
True.
that with Jason Varitek. We used to walk around with some
Yeah.
big dog, right, all
Yeah,
the time.
right.
Nobody.
No,
even,
he had a Dave Roberts moment, right?
Yeah.
Dave. I mean, the closest thing between Malcolm Butler is Dave Roberts, and Roberts didn't win the World Series for
Right.
us, but he made the defining play, right?
Yeah.
Of that.
That was
series.
where the turnaround all started.
right.
That
So-
was the crucial play.
Right. Right.
So it's good to be Malcolm Butler. So, all right, well, we have to turn the page for the Patriots, and of course, it's
sad.
now the off season, and I know Joe is big into the scouting combine, but we'll get into that next week. I would say let's go over, because it's free agent time, who stays and who goes for the Patriots. First guy, of course, we have to talk about is Revis. Revis has a $25 million salary cap hit
Yeah.
for next season. It's either going to have to be negotiated or they're going to have to let him go. What happens to Revis?
Well, we'll know by March 10th because one of the payments is due by then, what they're going to do.
So do you think they sign him or they let him go into the market?
No,
I think they'll sign him.
Yeah.
My guess is they'll sign them. They'll sign him. He's just. We saw when we have a defense, when the Patriots have that kind of defense, and those kind of blue chip players on defense, that Belichick went back to being a defensive genius this
Right.
year
Yeah.
because he had a great defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Right. All these other years, everyone was saying, "Well, what happened to the defensive genius?" Well, what happened to the defensive genius is we had a bunch of
His Ty Law was
B-league
gone.
players and playing cornerback and safety for us for 10 years.
That'd be a major PR hit
Yeah.
when you've got all this good feeling going on to all of a sudden lose Revis, right? I mean, you can't do
he
that.
changed the whole dynamic. He made everyone else better on that defense.
Yeah.
Everyone went
I
up a
think,
grade.
yeah, you got to sell a paper company if you need, for the Crafts,
Yeah.
just go sell a paper
Yeah.
company, sign Revis.
But
and-
Kraft's got to figure out he's not living forever. He's enjoying this very much. He wants another one or two with the
Right.
window that is Tom Brady. And you got to keep Revis, right?
I
He's
would
the number one
assume so,
priority.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So Revis stays. Mayo, who I'm a big fan
Renegotiate,
of.
that's all.
No, they got to get rid of Mayo. He's
No.
last 2 years he's been injured. I know I love him. He's great. He's very nice personality. I know the Krafts
He'd be a
love him.
big hit against the salary cap for the next 2 years.
I know 4.5. So there is consideration there, but I don't think the guy can play anymore. Yeah.
I think if he comes back, I don't think it really matters that much to the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots. I think they'd like to have him back, but they're only going to have him back on their terms.
They
right?
might bring him back as a coach. He's the only player I can remember in Bill Belichick's tenure here that when they went on injured reserve was
stuck with the
allowed to
team.
stay with the
Yeah.
team, work out with the team. He can't practice with the team; that's against the rules. But he
They're
stays with the
gonna
team,
will-
goes on the
They're
road
going to will
with them.
fork him. That's what they're going to do. They're
all
going
right,
to will fork him.
So you guys have Mayo staying. I have Mayo going. I just think, okay, we'll give him an assistant coach job. That's very nice of him.
What about
McCourty?
Woolfolk? What do
That's
you-
what I know. We're going to go Devin McCourty, who I think is just improved each year. He's a guy who knows the system. He's been a quarterback there in the as a safety position. He's got to stay whether they franchise him or sign him to a big deal.
Like to see him stay.
I'd like to see him stay, but he's going to be very expensive. If they franchise him, it's like $9 million. Even with a hometown discount, it'll be like $7 million a year. With a very good signing bonus. That'll be a
Does
real
the
big.
word hometown discount even really exist? I mean, does really
No,
anyone
they'll
really
knock-
giving
they'll
any
knock $1
hometown
million
discounts?
off, but he's not going to knock off.
Yeah, but the agent doesn't.
his future.
You know,
I don't believe in that.
Edelman gave us a hometown discount.
Oh,
I think he
okay.
did.
You
Well,
did.
he
Okay,
could've
all
gotten
right, okay.
Any other office either.
Yeah, but
It's
he
a nice
had other
hometown to
offers,
give us
but
a
he had
discount,
other
yeah.
offers, but they weren't significantly more
Yeah.
than what we offered him.
Okay, so we have McCoy saying Vereen, all the media gone.
Gone.
So apparently he's gone.
I think he's
Yeah,
gone.
he's going to attract some big money suitors, I think, off that performance.
Right. Belichick just does not pay running backs a lot of money.
No.
Just period.
But we got what we wanted. out of
Fourth round
Vereen.
draft picks, he
Absolutely.
drafts
You got that
them.
guy James White. You've
Yeah.
got they'll figure that position.
Ridley will be healthy and probably not attracting as much attention
Right.
on the free agent market.
Okay, well, how about now the big fatty? I don't even have to tell you who it is.
Renegotiate him again.
Yeah, you think?
It was awfully nice to have him in there stuffing runs for 16 games this year. If you can get him without breaking the bank, if he doesn't really hit you too hard on the cap, it was really nice to have him. I mean,
But we're not going to have that fighting this year where, Bianca gets involved
I don't
and all
think
that
so.
stuff, right?
that's
I mean,
it.
it's going to have to be.
You got to placate her before you deal with it.
Right, but they're not going to have that controversy. They're either going to let him go or they're going to negotiate him in good faith, right?
you would think so.
Yeah, okay, because, he's a well-loved player.
Absolutely.
I mean, nobody was
Well,
siding with the Patriots last offseason, if you remember. They wanted Wilfork back.
You go to Gillette, and every overweight man is wearing a Wilfork shirt.
This is the only one they can fit into.
That is
Yeah,
true.
right, exactly.
That is
Yeah,
true.
There's no skinny guys, wearing, that's how that works. All right, so Ridley, a forgotten man, Ridley, who I'm so glad Ridley wasn't part of the playoffs because he was putting one or two on the ground at some point. Ridley, does he stay or go? Because he was their starting running
I think
back.
he'll come relatively cheap because there's been no brouhaha around him like there
it's
was
coming
around
off an
Bru-
ACL injury. That's tough.
Yeah.
Again, I think minimum. It'll be a pretty minimum signing. They'll offer it to him, and
I
if
don't
he
think he'll
takes
get
it
any
somewhere else.
big
he's gone.
time offers from anyone else.
You got your boy
because of
Jonas
that.
Gray. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. I don't know if Jonas Gray makes the team next year. I'll be honest
Probably
with you.
not.
He's soured on him big time, right? I mean,
think?
yeah. Oh my
And Jonas
God.
is already back doing stand-up. So.
Oh yeah, well, it's a good profession. Yeah, God bless him.
Yeah,
on that.
for a Patriots player.
Yeah, right. Make that $25 a night. Yeah, he's going to be there for a long time. And a sleeper that nobody talks about, Steven Gostkowski, is the field goal kicker.
Pay him.
Is a free agent.
Yeah, pay him. Even the top kickers only make $2 or $3 million a year, so it's not going to be. Belichick loves his great field goal kickers.
Yeah, if I told you the game was going to be close, the Super Bowl, and the field goal kicker would play no role in it.
He played no role.
Yeah.
I think all of his kickoffs are touchbacks, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, you had the field goal
Belichick
kicker.
values that consistency
Yes,
he
he
gives
does.
the special
yeah,
teams.
yeah.
But 3 playoff games, and Gostkowski played no role in any of them.
Yeah.
You're pretty much right.
Yeah,
It's
which is
amazing.
pretty remarkable,
Yeah,
right?
it
I
is.
mean,
It was all touchdown passes.
and I've been a big proponent of just eliminating field goals altogether, but we'll get to
It's
that.
crazy talk, but
It is
it's
crazy
okay.
talk, but
Okay, crazy
No,
talk
that's-
time.
it's great. It's, all of a
It's
sudden-
crazy talk
yeah, 10
time.
minutes in, we've started the crazy talk time. All right.
Start a Scott ball
All
tournament.
right, so now give me one. Give me one player, a surprise player that nobody's thinking about right now on the New England Patriots current roster that you think might go.
It's possible, and you may like this.
Yeah.
The sounds of this.
Daniel Nava.
No, right? Browner. Browner's no lock to be back under his
Yeah.
current contract. I think he's under the Patriots' control, but I
3
think he's got a
years.
pretty big hit. And they may part of this whole. If they want to sign out, somebody's got to go here. You're not going to be
Yeah.
able to sign Revis, McCourty, Mayo, Kostowski, Vereen
Right.
across the board. Somebody's taking a haircut.
Yep.
Somebody is taking a haircut here,
It's
and if
more
they
than
think that.
renegotiating a few contracts.
And if they think that Malcolm Butler is a starting cornerback, you're not going to pay 3 starting cornerbacks on this team,
That's a great point. I wouldn't even have thought that. Yeah.
right? So
Absolutely,
Browner
yeah.
could be the guy where, loved you, helped us win a Super Bowl,
Right.
but you're not going to get any. He's not going to get any better,
No.
right?
No, I'm not a big Browner fan, as you know, but
He did only help make them
he
win
did
and
help.
play in the Super
I
Bowl.
agree. Okay.
he
I'm-
shut down, what's his name there, when Arrington was just totally hopeless.
Oh,
No,
that
no,
was a
he did a great
disaster.
job. No,
Yeah.
I'll definitely give to. All right, Joe, do you have anyone that you think might go? I know Joe's one of Joe's favorite players, Arrington, in the defense. Do you see him going?
No.
No?
He could be renegotiated down a couple million. I wouldn't be surprised at that because I think he's a bigger cap hit next year.
But how about Danny Boy? We had Danny Amendola gone before the playoffs, right? That was
He's not as big a hit this
Yeah,
year.
they still. I think it pays to keep him one more year.
Yeah.
I think that's what it
Okay.
does. It pays.
Last
to keep
year
him.
it would have been almost a $7 million hit
Yeah,
if
they
let
couldn't cut
go.
him last year. Look, he's a good third receiver. If he's finally gotten himself on the same page as Brady, why not? Why not have him be your third receiver?
That was the whole difference in the Super Bowl. The Patriots were able to go to a 4th and 5th option in Vereen and Amendola.
yeah.
Seattle couldn't. All they had after we took away their top 3, all they had was a guy who'd never caught a pass before in his life.
They hardly had any options.
So they were out of
Offensively,
options.
Yeah, they had very
Well,
little.
they had a
other-
6'5" guy who single-handedly
But
burned
once
us.
Browner took care of him, then
once
he
Browner
stopped
took care of
hurting
him.
them.
Right.
All right, so the scouting combine and soon the draft, and we'll definitely have on the Grandstanders an NFL draft show. But what is the need right now? The glaring needs as far as the draft goes for the Patriots. What do you think of as the top priority?
I would dump as much resources into an offensive line as I could. Brady, As Brady ages, he's going to need a better and better offensive line.
They did that last year. They used 4 draft picks on offensive line.
But I'm talking move big. I'm talking first, second, third
yeah,
rounders.
yes.
Our first one was Stork, I think, was the 4th round.
Yeah.
You surround
Klein
Brady.
in the 3rd.
Surround Brady with the best possible offensive lineman for the next 3 years.
Well,
I
they
don't
can
think
use
there's any
defensive interior linemen too. Wilfork's not getting any younger. They need
Sure.
another big body. Branch isn't getting any
Saliga
younger.
was quite good though. He's got
Yeah,
potential.
but they don't
You
have
can
the
never
size.
have enough big fat guys.
Yeah.
No, never.
So no.
But
Just in any
honestly,
way.
I
In
think
any
it's
life.
offensive. I think it's offensive line number 1 and
Yeah.
number 2, and then then start to fill depth. It's really
Linebackers.
depth.
See, I feel
4,
like
5, and
linebackers-
6.
yeah, I feel like
because they need
linebackers-
linebacker. That's
Yeah.
their least deep. All they have is Hightower, Mayo, and Collins.
yeah, and-
that could ever start a game.
Yeah, although you still think about Ninkovich as sort of a hybrid lineman.
you could put him back.
Chandler
Yeah,
Jones.
he's played the position before.
Yeah, exactly.
So then apparently the wide receiver crop this year too is just like this remarkable amount of athletes that are coming out. Is it time for the Patriots to think about trying to draft another stud?
No.
As far as
Not
the wide
before the
receiver?
3rd round. Not before
It's
the
like
3rd
them
round.
drafting cornerbacks. It just doesn't
It
work.
just don't. Yeah. What I would do, I think I said this. What I would get Green Bay to draft receivers.
Yeah,
for us.
right.
Right. I would go to Green Bay and say, we'll farm. We're gonna farm out our draft, our wide receiver draft to you. Can you pick our guy in the 3rd round for us? Right. And we'll pick an offensive lineman for you, or a defensive or linebacker. Or something.
But so we're giving Tom Brady the cookie that he deserves by shoring up the offensive line.
Absolutely.
So he's saying you got the wide receivers, you don't need any shoring up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Gronkowski
Or
coming in healthy.
you'll be free agent wide receiver. Go sign another Brandon LaFell.
yeah, which was a great signing.
Right.
Yeah.
This whole thing is about Gronkowski staying healthy.
Yeah.
Right. This the whole key to our receiving core is all about one guy staying healthy.
There's another guy that could leave is Human.
Yeah, I think Human's which is fine. Yeah, those guys. Yeah,
he's kind of
they're
served his
interchangeable.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, I before we wrap up the Patriots, I do want to mention the Deflategate. I want to mention that this week, the stories have come out that the whole Deflategate thing may have been a complete farce. That the Patriots may not have done anything. That maybe only one ball was inflated over the PSI. At some point, with all this just grouping up on top of Goodell, when can Goodell be in jeopardy of losing his job?
Never. Because I think he's their stooge. He's the shield. People they want someone out in front of them who's going to take abuse after abuse after abuse.
Yeah. He's the straw man that the press can knock down every time, and they never get to the owners.
That's right.
Okay, so tell me what happens. Look in your crystal ball. What happens with Deflategate? Are they ever going to come out with
But
a
they should have.
answer?
Look,
I mean,
here's the bottom line. The problem with on the NFL's perspective on Deflategate was the leaks. They should have they should have been investigated. I have no issue with them investigating. Hey, we hear a bunch of balls were deflated. We should take a look into it. The problem on the NFL side was everything was getting leaked out.
Yeah.
Right. Everything was getting leaked out, and that's what turned this
the
whole
guy
thing
was from
into.
the Jets. That's one
Yeah.
problem.
So that but I don't have a problem with Goodell looking. Like I want him to look into the crowd noise thing in Atlanta.
Right.
I want him to look into the text problem in Cleveland. They should look into Deflategate, but 10 days, make the ruling, get out of there.
Because NFL players and administration, they behave badly. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly right.
So I mean, there was pieces where there's a certain percentage of NFL players currently who are affiliated with gangs. I mean, and it's a large percentage.
There's
so
bigger
it
issues.
is what it is. Yeah,
Right.
that's tough. So we're done with the Patriots for now, but of course, every week when you win a Super Bowl,
It's a
we'll mention them at
52-week
some point.
season now.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the Bruins. The Bruins are pretty much the last couple of weeks looking terrible. The trading deadline is soon. They're right now in the 8th spot, which the wild card spot. I'm thinking that the Bruins need to be sellers. That they need to start giving up some of these players because they're not going to win a Stanley Cup this year. So with my idea that they're going to be sellers, not buyers, who could possibly go?
I'm not so sure about that. I'm more along Russ's line of thinking that a big trade that you really shake up the team, maybe, with a first-line player, a second-line player, and a defenseman.
You think that could put them over the top?
I don't think there's a lot to sell that we'd want to sell. Like, I think the guy that everyone would like to buy is Dougie Hamilton. right?
Yeah,
we're not
we all
selling
know
Dougie
Lucic,
Hamilton,
yeah.
right? Well,
Lucic
Lucic has
is-
got a big price tag next to him.
Yeah.
He's going to be
Yeah.
a free agent in 1 year. You're just not going to get back for Lucic what you think you're going to
Yeah.
get back. So,
But he is the one guy that all the other teams really
I
would
believe
like.
that. I think the trade that could really shake this team up would be Lucic.
Yeah.
I think we have to reset our expectations though on what you're going to get back for Lucic.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little too pie
Well,
in the sky there.
Yeah, I'm making a prediction. Brad Marchand is gone. He's the guy they're going to trade. That will really shake things up. And I
that
think
would be a nice deal.
No, I'm kind of sick of his act.
Yeah,
I'll
that
tell
might-
you.
Be a
yeah,
nice deal.
that's become a tired act. So I think that Marchand is going to be the first one out the door, and they might be able to get a lot from him. He has a good skill set.
Yeah.
but-
Absolutely.
And they may think that he play well in a different city right now. He may need a change of scenery.
And another team might say he's the kind of guy that give us a little spark.
Little ball of hate.
Yeah.
And Chiarelli, I think he's in trouble. I mean, in the last couple of weeks, the winds have changed. Everyone's talking about the Sagan deal now, bringing that up all the time.
Absolutely.
The Boychuk deal, bringing those two deals up.
Yeah.
The last two major deals he's made have been utter failures.
Right.
Unquestionably, he's affected the team. This team would look a lot better if they had Sagan and Boychuk
Because
on it
the
right
two
now.
things they need right now are a goal-scoring right wing
Yeah.
And a big
and a
defenseman.
defenseman.
You always need a defenseman. You never have enough defensemen. You always need
Yeah,
guys.
the kids aren't panning out as well as I thought they would.
Yeah.
You
Taking
know,
them longer.
Hamilton's not coming on as quickly as I thought he would. Krug,
But that's a tough
Barkowski-
position, Joe.
Barkowski has been terrible.
But Joe, that's a position where it takes a few years to become a legitimate defenseman.
I think you're right. We're all impatient as Red Sox fans and Bruins fans. I think are the most impatient fans in town.
I would agree with that. Yes.
But the defensemen, you see these guys like Sergei Gonchar and stuff. He was on the Bruins like 10 years
45
ago,
years
and he
old,
was
right.
50 years old, and
Yeah.
he's still on the team,
Still
still
playing.
somewhere. So, all right, so that's our Bruins talk. But quickly going to the Celtics, the Celtics have made 9 trades. Now remember, audience, there's only 15 players on the team. Okay, they have
point.
made 9 trades just this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you look at their current roster, and the rumors possibly 3 to 4 or 5 guys could be moved in the next week. The trading deadline is a week from Thursday. Okay, the Celtics. Who goes from the Celtics? Who will be on the Celtics?
Here's
and
who I
will
trade
not
for
be
the
on
Celtics right
next
now.
week?
Nobody.
You trade nobody.
Unless you can get a first round pick.
Yeah.
I do not see what good it's going to do this franchise to trade Marcus Thornton for a second round pick. Right? You're not the second round pick that we're going to get from him is never going to play. Thornton's not costing us a lot of money. Certainly not this year. It's not stopping us from doing. Let these guys win some games. They beat Atlanta last night. You want Brad Stevens to taste some winning. Right? If we like Brad Stevens as a coach, let him taste some winning. Let these guys taste some winning. Don't take just when they're starting to get their mojo. Don't take 4 more guys out from underneath them. That's crazy.
He's going to be just a beaten down shell of himself with all this losing.
Every time they start playing well, gonna deal another guy.
Yeah, that's a great point. We talked a few weeks ago that we thought Stevens was out of here, that he'd be taking a coaching position, back in college. But maybe this run keeps Stevens here.
Why not? And you're not gonna get that much better draft position by tanking right now. Right? We have too far to fall to get a great draft slot. We're going to be around 10, 11, 12
They're
anyways.
closer to the playoffs than they are
Absolutely.
to the lottery.
Make a playoff run. Don't.
Right.
I wouldn't buy.
Yeah.
But I would not do a fire sale.
Let the management make a little extra money with those couple of home playoff games.
Exactly.
Okay, now moving forward though, who are the anchors of the team? The
a
anchors
great
seem to be changing. I guess Marcus Smart would be
Absolutely.
right. That starts there.
For lack of anyone else.
Okay, but who else?
I think
I
they like
thought it was
Olynyk.
Sullinger.
I think they like Olynyk a lot. I think they see him as a stretch 4. Not a lot of guys in the league. 7 feet, shoot, pass. He can dribble a little bit. I think you could see him being a stretch 4 on a good team.
I'd rather see him coming off the bench, to tell you the truth. Than,
That could be
Well,
the
like a
case
six
too.
man. I mean,
that could be the case too.
yes.
Absolutely.
He could change the dynamic, with a big guy with an outside shot.
I think the
were
kid
stodgy.
James Young, I think
Yeah.
is definitely part of it. The big question is your guy, Sullinger.
Sullinger,
right?
yeah,
Is he the future or is he
he's only
the recent
22 years
past.
old, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
he's really still young. He's
I
very
was so
immature.
high on him, and now it's.
I'm just not a big fan of professional athletes, and especially in basketball. I
Got to
mean,
get into shape.
You got to be in shape. How
gotta get
can
into
you be
shape.
fat and an NBA player be fat? How is that even possible?
Just
right?
with the amount of running they do.
But he's fat. I mean, right. I mean,
Walt Bellamy was an all-star
Look,
for years.
Paul Pierce
Oscar
got himself
Robertson,
into
Hall
shape.
of Famer.
Pierce's career changed when he got himself into shape. He lost that baby fat,
Yeah.
and he came to camp that year looking like Adonis.
Yeah.
And he was ready to play some basketball.
and Charles Barkley's
And he
first few
became the
years was
truth.
heavy.
And he
then,
got
yeah.
himself into shape.
Because, I think Sullinger has all the skill sets. I wish, of course, he'd stay away from the three-point line. But, yeah, I mean, I think he can be
Yeah.
a building block. Now, the guy that, it's funny, Avery Bradley, who we signed to a 4-year extension in the offseason, really has been hurt a lot of his career. And, of course, everyone's like, well, if Avery Bradley ever played a full year, he'd be remarkable.
He is.
Now, I don't think that I'm too sold on Avery
I
Bradley
think
moving
he's
forward.
a top
right?
4 guard, a top 4 rotation
Yeah.
guard, but he's not a. You're not going to win a championship with
him
Avery
starting.
Bradley being a starting guard on your team.
So
Can we
this
agree on
possibility
that?
he could be right. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
A
except he-
defensive replacement, yes.
absolutely.
Bringing him in
Bring
off the bench, but
sure.
not as a starter.
Although when you have Smart and Bradley in the same backcourt, there's some hellacious D
Yeah.
that's being played by
Right.
those two guys. Hellacious. You see these opposing point guards don't want any part of those guys.
I'd love to see him press. If it wouldn't kill you on an NBA schedule,
Right.
Let's see him press more.
Yeah.
Imagine what Patino would have with these two.
Yeah.
It's very funny though.
90 feet.
When you look at the trades of the immortal Jeff Green and Rajon Rondo and all the guys they have gotten rid of, they have not played well. These guys. Rondo has been a huge bust for the
Huge
Mavericks,
disappointment.
right? And now he's hurt, and you tend to forget that Rondo gets hurt a lot too.
And I think it's even the case. I read somewhere that Tayshaun Prince has played much better since he's been traded to the Celtics than he had when he was on the Grizzlies, and maybe
Yeah, I've
even
been
playing as well as
semi-impressed.
Green.
Yeah, Prince is a good player.
Minute for minute.
Yeah, I forgot how good
That's
he
a
is.
guy I could see
Yeah.
them trading though, because he wants to be traded. I think
Right.
his whole thing is he wants to end the year on a good team. So that's the one guy I would say trade him. Don't take time away from the young guys.
No, but the irony of that is he thought he was going to get bought out.
Yeah.
So he didn't even report
Yeah.
to the team.
Yeah. He's
It's
played
only when
well.
they came out to LA, and apparently he must live out there. He's like, all right, I'll join the team. He's liked it, and he's actually been a great leader for the team.
He's been a nice player.
Yeah, I mean,
Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right?
so let's do a little prediction now in February. It's the All-Star break coming up. Do the Celtics make the playoffs?
No, I think they'll fall 2 or 3
Yes.
games short. I just don't see them having enough to get in. Miami's still got a couple. Now, look, if Dwayne Wade gets hurt and he's out for the rest of the year, could they overtake Miami? Yeah.
But will Ainge make trades so we don't make the playoffs? I mean,
It's a
how-
great
If
question.
he can get a big guy, he'll make any trade. I think,
I think
right
that's
now.
a great point. Yeah, if he could get a young big, he'll
Make
deal
any
everybody.
trade right now.
All right, there's no possibility. I'm just throwing this
Because
out.
that's what he's going to draft anyways. If he gets a lottery pick, a young big guy.
Could we get Kevin Love in the next week? Because it's not
you know,
working. That relationship's not working
Yeah.
well with LeBron.
Yeah.
If we
It
gave
would-
him
if
if they gave him Sullinger
If
right
Cleveland
now,
thought that Sullinger plus somebody else plus one of these picks, they could approximate what Love gives them. Could I see Cleveland doing it? Yeah, but we'd have to give up a ton of salary somehow. Like Love makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now we have some trade exceptions that might help, but
because Ainge loves.
oh
Love.
yes he does.
yeah.
Yes he does.
Yeah, so I mean that
But
that'd
Love
be-
would have to have it
I
some
can't
interest
see
in.
Cleveland doing it. Sullinger for Love. I don't care how many draft picks you throw in it. It's very unequal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just shows you how certain players, Kevin Love, everybody wanted Kevin
Yeah.
Love, and then all of a sudden now, you probably get him for half price, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
His value
But
has
remember, he's
dropped
a
in
free
Cleveland.
agent though, so you could pay a ransom for Kevin Love, and he'd probably walk out the door for the Clippers next
He
year.
seems to have a relationship with Ainge, though. Remember, he spent the week here over the summer.
We got all hot and bothered
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that and didn't pan out.
No, yeah, I think it'd be interesting. It's going to be a fun week. That's our show. I want to thank Russ,
went fast.
Uncle Joe, everyone behind the scenes. That's another episode of the Grandstanders. Join us next Thursday night live. My name is Scott Kerman. Have a good night.